They cannot fly in the air, so instead, they survive an impossible winter in the coldest place on Earth. This is the real story of the penguin. 60 miles inland on the Antarctic ice shelf, thousands of emperor penguins stand frozen in the dark. They are silent and waiting. Each one guards an egg. That egg would die in minutes if it touched the ice. So they huddle together, starving and tired, barely holding on. This should not work. Nothing should survive this. No mammal, no bird, no complex life should be able to go without food for 4 months in the coldest place on Earth. They do this while keeping an egg warm in hurricane-force winds. But emperor penguins chose it. This huddle is where the story starts. But it is only one part of a much bigger cycle. A cycle that covers thousands of miles, includes 6 major species, and plays out across one of the toughest places on the planet. A place with no soil, no trees, no land predators, and half a year of total darkness. Yet every year, more than 12 million penguins return here to live. They walk, slide, and swim thousands of miles to reach the same patch of ice they left the year before. This film is not about cute animals in tuxedos. It is about the hardest routine survival job on Earth, done by birds that cannot fly in the air, but fly underwater better than almost anything alive. In this episode, we will follow them through their yearly cycle. The frozen continent that tries to kill them, the ocean that feeds them, the colonies that both protect and tire them out, and the quiet changes now threatening the whole system. This is the impossible life of penguins. Antarctica is, at its heart, a desert, the driest place on Earth, even buried under ice. In the center, less than 2 inches of snow falls each year. What does fall never melts. It piles up, gets pressed down, and slowly becomes part of an ice sheet that gets 2 miles thick. Winter averages around -40 degrees Fahrenheit. But the temperature alone doesn't explain the danger. Winds often blow past 60 miles per hour, making it feel near -100 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, exposed skin freezes in under 2 minutes. The body starts to fail almost right away. The ice itself adds another threat. It never stops moving, grinding, buckling, and breaking apart as seasons change. Fast ice, the sea ice locked to the coast, can vanish from one year to the next. Pack ice drifts with the currents. Icebergs break from glaciers and float north until warmer water melts them away. Nothing here stays still. Yet life breeds in this instability. Antarctica holds the largest penguin colonies on the planet. Emperor penguins gather in tens of thousands. This is a place where life should fail. Yet, penguins remain. Not by luck, but by an old deal with evolution. Every feather, every dive, every huddle is a trade-off with the cold. They survive Antarctica's cruelty, but only by paying a price almost no other creature will pay. While other animals escape to the ocean or move toward warmth, emperor penguins do the opposite. They start their breeding cycle when Antarctica is at its most hostile. They move inland just as the sun disappears and temperatures drop to their lowest. For most species, winter is something to get through. For emperors, it's the only time when life can start. The reason is harsh but clear. When sea ice reaches its largest size, the ice shelf becomes stable enough to hold a colony of tens of thousands. They need that platform wide, flat, and out of reach of ocean predators. If they waited for summer, the ice would break apart. Their chicks would hatch into open water. So, they travel early. In the dark, long lines of penguins leave the coast and walk toward a breeding site that looks empty to us. A flat plain of ice that stays frozen just long enough to raise a chick. Each female lays 1 egg. 1 chance, 1 life. The handoff to the male must be perfect. If the egg touches the ice, even for a moment, it freezes. After the transfer, their paths split. The females head back to the ocean to feed. The males stay behind, holding the eggs through the darkest and coldest months. And this is where their real trial begins. For 4 months, the males stand in darkness, not eating and keeping the eggs warm. Their metabolism slows, their fat stores shrink, their weight drops to nearly half of what it was. Meanwhile, the storms grow stronger. To survive, emperors use one of nature's most elegant solutions, the huddle. This isn't just a crowd. It's a shifting structure. Penguins move in slow waves, rotating positions so no bird stays on the cold outer edge for long. There's no leader. The group keeps itself alive through constant, gentle motion. Inside the huddle, the temperature can rise to almost 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Just inches away, the wind may be negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Life survives in that narrow space between warmth and deadly cold. Each male keeps his egg balanced on his feet, hidden under a fold of skin. If it slips, it dies. So he stands completely still, holding that position through wind, hunger, and the pressure of the huddle. Day after day, months pass. Light returns, winds ease, and from under the male's feathers comes a faint sound, the first calls of newly hatched chicks. The males are exhausted, barely standing. The females, still at sea, are feeding and building strength for their return. When they finally come back, they do something amazing. They find their partner and chick in a crowd of thousands, guided only by a unique call that cuts through the noise. Once the chick is passed safely, the starving males start the walk back to the ocean. After more than 100 days without food, even this final walk is a test, and not all make it. Those that do reach the water dive right in, eating in the short Antarctic summer. Their hardest part is over, but for the newly hatched chicks, born into the coldest place on Earth, the struggle is only starting. The ice is loosening. The ocean is waking. The planet tilts, and slowly, almost reluctantly, the light returns. It starts as a thin blue line along the horizon, then spreads into a pale glow that softens the ice ridges. Day by day, the sun climbs higher. The cold doesn't disappear, but it loosens its grip. Shadows shorten, colors return. The continent begins to breathe again. As the light strengthens, the ice responds. What was once a continent-sized fortress starts to pull back, cracking at its edges, thinning from below. The sea takes back what winter had taken, and with the melt comes the first hint of movement, a quiet stirring under the surface. Antarctic summer isn't warm, but it is alive. Under the breaking sea ice, sunlight floods into the water for the first time in half a year. Millions of tiny plants, phytoplankton, burst into bloom. They multiply so fast that the ocean turns green in swirling patches seen from space. This explosion of life becomes the base of the entire Southern Ocean food web. Following them is krill. Billions of krill. Few ecosystems on Earth rely so completely on one small creature. The timing is everything. Krill need the thaw. Predators need the krill. And the penguins need both. As the ocean wakes up, the coastlines burst with activity. The first to appear are the Adelie penguins, small, bold, and built for speed on land. They return to rocky shores cleared of winter snow and start building nests from pebbles, one stone at a time, stolen and rearranged in a constant fight for space. A little farther north, Gentoo penguins arrive from feeding trips that took them far out to sea during winter. They prefer ice-free shorelines and will travel far to find them. Their breeding season is more flexible, more responsive to the changing environment. Chinstrap penguins appear in groups on islands and peninsulas where summer is short but regular. Their name comes from the thin black line under their beak, but their survival comes from precision. They time their return to match the peak of krill numbers. Too early and the chicks starve. Too late and the adults do. Everything, every nest, every migration, every hatch is set to the rhythm of the ocean, and the ocean is filling fast. Seals slip between patches of broken ice, hunting in waters that were frozen solid weeks before. Leopard seals patrol the edge of the melt, waiting for young penguins to enter the sea for the first time. Their heads rise like shadows, looking for movement. Giant petrels circle above the coast, opportunistic and relentless. And under the waves, orcas move through the water with smooth precision. Different groups specialize in different hunts. Some target seals, others chase penguins, Others work together to create waves that wash prey off the ice. They are the top predators of this ocean, and the summer melt gives them the freedom to roam. For most species, this is the season of plenty. A short window when the ocean is generous, when prey is abundant, when the ice can be crossed. But inland, none of this matters yet, because far from the coast, the emperor penguins are still standing on frozen ground, holding newly hatched chicks against the last of winter's cold. Their world is weeks behind the rest of Antarctica. And these two timelines, the coastal summer and the inland winter, rarely match up perfectly. It is one reason penguins across Antarctica live such different lives. Their plans are shaped not just by biology, but by geography and by the beat of ice and light that shapes every living thing here. What happens next depends on where the penguins choose to live, and nowhere is that more dramatic than a remote island chain more than 1,000 miles from the continent. A place where summer doesn't just return, it explodes. This is South Georgia, a sub-Antarctic island that feels almost generous compared to the continent to the south. Here, summers are longer, water's richer, and the ocean floor rises in a way that pulls nutrients up. Cold currents meet warmer ones. Upwellings stir the deep. The result is one of the most productive marine environments on Earth. A supermarket for every predator, scavenger, and seabird within reach. And at the heart of it all, on a narrow strip of coastline called St. Andrews Bay, stands one of the largest king penguin colonies on the planet. From a distance, the colony looks like a single living surface, a dense tide of black, white, and gold. Up close, the size hits you. More than 500,000 king penguins pack the beach, the plain behind it, and the slopes rising toward retreating glaciers. Their calls blend into a rolling metallic roar. Thousands of parents and chicks trying to find one another in the noise. South Georgia is nothing like the emperor world we left behind. Kings don't march inland. They don't keep eggs warm through darkness or weather storms in packed huddles. Their plan revolves around a landscape where the ocean is always within reach. King penguins breed on bare ground. No ice, no platforms, no winter survival tests. Their nests are simply small clearings in the crowd. And their breeding cycle is slow. It takes more than 14 months to raise one chick. Some pairs skip breeding years because the cycle stretches across seasons. In the time one emperor chick can hatch and grow feathers, a king chick may still be growing its first proper feathers.